Yes, I did go see the new Batman movie, and before I unpack what I thought and what the movie does, I need to talk about something important. Something that some of you may already know because I tend to get on a little bit of a tangent talking about it. My love-hate relationship for Batman. You see, when I was a very impressionable kid, I loved Batman. There wasn't any kid my age around who didn't love and know Batman. I watched Justice League, I watched Justice League Unlimited, I played Injustice, I played Arkham Knight. I was dosed into Batman media and I loved it.
I've seen you go through similar phases in 2016 and 2012 and 2008 and 2005 and 1997 and 1995 and 1992 and 1989 and that weird one in 1966.
I would argue that at the time, I loved Batman more than I loved Spider-Man, and that's saying a lot. Then as I got older, something strange happened with the character. I stopped loving all forms of Batman media, and there was only one reason why.
Okay, no, Batman's cool. He gets to go to a Tibetan monastery and be trained by ninjas, okay? I want to do that. But he doesn't, get wrecked in prison. That could happen in my movie.
Yes, I've already talked about my distaste for Zachary Snyder, but I do like his Justice League cut. But damn, did he make a shitty Batman before that point. In all shows, movies, and comics, there are certain concrete rules with Batman. In the past decade, I would argue that that's changed a little bit, only because there's been a version of the character that a lot of people like and prefer over the original Batman. You see, Batman is a superhero. He is a good guy. Batman values life above all else, and that's one of the rules that he refuses to break. If you can follow those rules, it makes writing a Batman story really simple. Okay, so to break it down, there are 3 simple rules with Batman. Number 1, Batman doesn't use guns. Number 2, Batman doesn't kill. Number 3, Batman doesn't use guns to kill people.
God fucking damn it, Zachary.
Unfortunately for me, a lot of people like the idea of Batman killing. It makes him more realistic and darker, and it makes him have the revenge arc at all times, which is cool. And I just can't get behind that. It has gotten to the point that because he is grumpy and edgy and he wears black, that he is an anti-hero, which, no. But I really don't have time to get into that. I kind of went on a psycho tangent there, but it was to show you that this version of the character is popular, and that this version is possibly one that we could get in future movies. Going into this movie, I just decided to shut up and accept that if we get that version of the character, then I would just deal with it. So, with my personal biases aside, what did I actually think of this movie? I gotta tell you guys that I actually really liked it. I'm not going to spoil any deaths in this movie, but watching Batman fight and the action sequences were just... I loved it. When Batman fights, he's not fighting some dude that he has some long time feud with. When he fights people, you can tell that it's with the intent that he wants to keep the city safe, to save as many lives as possible. For what this movie tries to be, it does a really good job. A lot of people describe it as a detective or mystery Batman movie, and that's not the whole movie. There's things that made this Batman movie different from every other one. Throughout the movie, you get these little bits of narration from Batman, and it kind of reminded me of Rorschach from Watchmen.
Rorschach's Journal, October 12th, 1985. Dog carcass in alley this morning. Tire tread on burst stomach. This city's afraid of me.
We get something that not many Batman stories give us, a young Batman. This version of the character hasn't been doing the gig that long, but he has already upheld his rules and morals as the Batman. There's moments when his character and own morals are tested through the film, and stories like that make the character so much more enjoyable. Robert Pattinson is doing a good job here. Some of you may not like him, but I think he's doing a good job as the Batman. The only thing that I could complain about here is that it's hard to differentiate him between Batman and Bruce. In the movie, he doesn't really need to have the mask on because he kind of acts the same way, with or without it. He acts the same way on and off duty, and for some people that's distracting. I'd like to remind everyone that that's the reason that we like Tom Holland's Peter Parker so much. When he's Spider-Man, he has a really good heart. And when he's Peter Parker, he also still has a really good heart. Overall, Batman and Bruce Wayne having the same morals isn't a bad thing, and I think it's used well in this movie. It just shows that the character's still learning to get used to it. This is mainly a Batman story with scenes with Jim Gordon and Selina Kyle. Catwoman has a subplot that does tie into the main plot by the end of the movie, but Jim's plot is sort of intertwined with the main plot at all times, so you get a lot of scenes with him hanging out with Batman, and it made me like Jim Gordon a lot. The movie sold me on Jim Gordon being a good detective, and working with Batman, they make a pretty good team. Now yes, I could talk about the Riddler because he does keep the plot moving throughout the movie, but he isn't the main antagonist here. The movie goes to show that the whole city is corrupt and Gotham's lost its way. Everyone has their dark side. There are like 2 or 3 antagonists throughout the whole movie, but it's done in a way that doesn't feel crammed. They all have something to do with each other, and it works pretty well. I will say that this Batman movie definitely feels more planned out than any other DC movie. It doesn't drag, and the tone doesn't have any crazy inconsistencies, and I'd say that there's almost no plot holes. I didn't have any complaints here. It makes me think if all superheroes were written out like this, then there would almost be no bad superhero movies. It's been a while since I've had a good time watching Batman on screen, and that's exactly what I got with this movie. So I was pretty satisfied, and I'm probably going to go see it again when I get a chance. I hope no one has an issue with this ranking, but 9 out of 10.